Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining Utah Beer News for the second in what we hope will be many one-on-one conversations with local brewers, breweries, and everyday imbibers. I'm Tim Herron, founder of Utah Beer News, and my guest today is Chad Hopkins, owner and head brewer at Hopkins Brewing. Welcome, Chad. How are you doing today?
Hey, great. How you doing, Tim?
Doing good. Thanks for joining us on these virtual tastings. I know it's kind of a weird time right now, so thought we'd have a little fun with tasting some local beers. And as many of you know, breweries, restaurants, bars, they've been shut down to dine in and drink in service for about 2 months now. And some are starting to reopen on a limited basis. Others are taking a more cautious approach. They're evaluating procedures required to open as coronavirus or COVID 19 continues to be a concern. But we're here today to do a virtual tasting of a couple Hopkins beers. Well, one for sure, the Stonewall Sour Saison, which is a really nice beer. And then if we have some time, we might get to a couple others, or at least talk about a couple others that I know Chad is excited about and has had a good response for so far. But before we get into the tastings, Chad, I just want maybe give you a couple minutes to talk about what's going on at your brewery, how you're handling things personally, professionally, and is everything kind of just weird right now?
Yeah, it's strange, and it's been going on for so long. It almost feels normal, just a little
Yeah.
scary. But when this first happened, um, we shut down for a couple days. I mean, we had the earthquake like right after too, so it's just kind of like, well, let's take a little break here to gather our thoughts and figure out what we're gonna do. And
Right.
so, we laid everybody off. Furloughed about 26 of my team, and I kept my
Oh,
manager. And we were on this upward trend of sales. We were busy every week, every weekend, every month was a record sales, and so we were ordering food, just ramping up, and we were kind of unsure it was happening with everything.
yeah.
We're staying so busy here,
Yeah.
and so when that happened, it's like, wow, like I don't know what we're gonna do here. So
Wow.
it was just me and my kitchen manager for about 5 weeks running limited hours, limited days. Just wanted to move through the food we had, and we planned on shutting things down until so I figured out what was going to go on in the world. But
Right.
um, we got a little help from the government. Some money came through. I've had great customer feedback and support, and so we're busy. Like I
Yeah.
was those 5 weeks of being my kitchen manager, some of the busiest 5 weeks I've had since opening.
Wow.
So it was a lot of work because I was still working in the brew house and still kegging beer and cleaning and then running the bar, and then it was hard.
I
So
bet. I bet.
nice to get some funds and see that people do want us around even if we're doing takeout. Um,
Right.
so it's been great. So I've hired back several of my team, and they're working, they're running the shifts here now, and gives me some extra time to do extra things in the brew house and
Mm-hmm.
spend a little time at home. So
Oh, good. Good. Good.
yeah,
Yeah. So you guys opened up New Year's Eve 2018. So you had just celebrated your 1 year anniversary,
right.
little more than your 1 year anniversary when all this happened. So yeah, I can imagine it was just a shot to the gut when you had all this momentum going. People were really excited, and then to have this happen, it just had to be a big blow.
Yeah, it was a little devastating there for a minute, but um, we got to do what we got to do to get through this thing. And
Sure. Well, I want to ask you a couple more questions, but we should have a beer in our hand probably while we talk about this. So
great
I'm
idea.
gonna, yeah, I've got your a crowler here. This is the Stonewall Sour Saison. Um,
Great. I'm pouring the same thing.
Perfect.
We've been closed a few days here, so my Beer's pouring a little foamy.
Oh.
So you got the Fisher Hopkins collaboration crowler there.
Yeah, yeah. I saw you post about that. You had to get a little help from your friends on this one, huh?
Yeah, that was great. And I was just down there picking up some beer, and he's like, "How you doing on cans?" I'm like, "I'm gonna be out in a couple days." He's like, "You want some?" Sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
No, that's,
Yeah. What have you seen from the overall craft beer community at the last 2 months? Has it really been coming together to help each other out?
yeah, I think the first month was just kind of like nobody was really talking much. It was just kind of awkward. Everybody was just kind of figure out their own personal lives and their own businesses and what they're doing. And these past couple weeks now, people are starting to come out and like, okay, like this is still going on. Like, what can we do to help each other out? So
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
been great. I know a lot of the breweries we're chatting in emails, going back and forth. What do we want to do? What's going on here? Um,
Yeah.
Bewilder just started doing dine in, so I went to see how Cody's doing over there and see how they're making that work. And
Hmm.
um, so yeah, it's been great to have so much camaraderie between the brewers going into this.
Cool. All right. Well, cheers, and the
Cheers.
Stonewall Saison. That is a good one. So you brewed this one first for the first time last year. Maybe explain a little bit, kind of, why you brewed it initially, and then what's involved in this batch.
Well, this was the first sour we did here, other than the Brewers Guild Festival Chili Mango that we did with Salt Flats. So this one was our own that we brewed here for for Pride Month. So celebrate the Stonewall riots, and it's turned into Pride. And so we did this last year, and so we brewed it again. I brewed this while we were closed. I just had some ingredients and some yeast ready to go. And I'm like, let's get this thing going ahead of time. And so this beer, it's nice and light. It's below 4%, like it's kind of like a standard saison is supposed to be. Super drinkable.
Sure. Yeah, I really like the saison yeast that you use in this. And then it's a sour, but it's not one of those puck your mouth type sours. It's fairly mellow, but the saison yeast I think is really great in it.
Yeah, that's some nice kind of funky earthy flavor. But my palate's super sensitive to the sours, the super tart beers, and traditionally sours weren't really tart, and then these American sours started coming out. They're just like, I can't drink them. That's
sure. Yeah, those are
the beer I like to drink. So
they just wreck your palate. Yeah. So yeah, you said this is your first sour as a pro brewer, and I jotted down some notes that I think either I talked to you last year or I got it from some of your social media. But there's some orange peel, coriander. Does that sound about right?
Throw it in the end of the boil. It's got a nice citrus, kind of like little lemon pithy, lemon zest flavor to it, but highly drinkable.
Yeah.
But you get complexities from the saison yeast as well. But yeah, the way we do this beer is completely natural fermentation. Some brewers will add lactic acid, some will do. They'll pitch actual lactobacillus yeast. What we do is use the natural. Lactobacillus naturally lives on grain, and so there's a certain temperature it likes to thrive at. So we brew the beer. Well, we do the mash, run it into the kettle, and just let it cool down to 120 degrees, which is kind of the top end of that. Just drop a bag of Pilsner malt in there and let it sit. And then I check it every several hours, check the pH, check the flavor, see if it's right where I want it. And once we hit it, then we kick on the boil, and there we go. Throwing the hops and all the things.
Nice. Yeah, I was excited when you brought this one back because it was one of my favorite of your beers last year. So
thanks.
Another nice effort. And you wanted to talk a little bit about one of your newer beers that you've got on right now. And I actually picked up, my wife and I came over to your place on Sunday and got some food and beer to go. And I picked up a crowler of the, you're going to have to remind me of the name. Rico, Pico.
Pico Rico.
Pico Rico. Yeah. Um, Lager. And it was really good. So tell me about that one too.
Yeah, that's been our most popular beer for the past couple months here. It's named after one of my cooks. They call him Pico Rico. So we decided to name it after him. And yeah, that's Mexican lagers are traditionally more German style Vienna lagers. So it's kind of my take on that.
Yeah.
Has a local solstice malt in it. Is a floor malted pale malt, which is similar to a Maris Otter, which is something you would use in the base malt of like a German Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got a nice malty flavor to it, a little bit of flaked maize, a little bit of Munich malt that also Solstice makes.
Cool.
And then it's all Whirlpool hops with Hallertau Blanc. And that adds a nice kind of lemongrass, citrusy, kind of white grape flavor to it as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, that was a really tasty, easy drinking beer. I like that one quite a bit.
Yeah, and I'll throw a lime in it, and it's great summer beer. Yeah, and we put that on right when the weather started warming up here. So I'm selling that really fast. We're probably going to be in here over the next couple weeks.
Right. And one thing you were doing that I loved right before all this kind of went sideways is your small batches. You're thinking of starting those up again, where you have like 10 or 12 almost just 5-gallon batches pretty much, weren't they?
Homebrew.
Yeah. That was a cool concept.
Yeah, it was really fun. And it was kind of a bummer because once this happened, we had just a few days before did our small batch release for St. Patty's, and of course they sold out that weekend. And coming in asking like, hey, can I get small batch to go? And I'm like, they're gone. We're not going to bring them back until we can reopen. But we've had a lot of requests for them, and we had a lot of them ready to go.
Yeah.
We actually we canned them up, and they're can conditioning, so we didn't do any forced carbonation on them.
Oh.
And so they'll be ready here, I think next week. We've got a couple coming out, and then we're going to start
definitely
run on the small batch again here soon.
Yeah, definitely stop in for that. Every other Friday you were doing those, and just the names and the descriptions and the unique creative recipes that you came up with, and it was awesome. So looking forward to more of that.
Yeah, those have been really fun. And I've handed that off mostly to Matt. I think he's Matt.
Oh yeah.
Matt Yeager. He's been owning that whole program, and so it's been pretty fun. I contribute here and there, but I have to give him props for those beers.
Cool.
There's going to be less than 20 cans of each batch that comes out. So
wow,
it'll be super exclusive.
So are these like 12-ounce cans, 16-ounce cans, or are they they're
the crowlers? So
crowlers. Okay, cool, nice. So you've got to-go food, crowlers of all your beers available right now. Just trying to think your hours. I guess they're kind of up in the air sometimes, so maybe keep an eye on social media for your current hours. But
I think I like what we've. Yeah, I was all over the place. I kept changing them, and finally I'm like, all right, Wednesday through Sunday, 3 to 8. So
okay,
with that for now.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, that Stonewall Saison, Sour Saison is just really good. But before I let you go, I want to get to this other one too. I want to just taste the Guava Goddess. Yeah. You're welcome to pour yourself one too if you want, or you can continue with the Stonewall, whatever you want.
Yeah, this is another popular one. In fact, I have I brewed this again already. So it's in the fermenter right now.
Nice.
We added the guava not too long ago, and then we'll dry hop it pretty soon. So we might run out of it for a few days, but it'll come right back.
Perfect. And I write on this one that this was using the pink boots blend of hops. Okay.
Yeah, and that's been a really fun blend, and it pairs so well with the fruit.
Mm.
So we throw it in the whirlpool and the dry hop. That's always fun to see what they do with that blend each year.
And you're using fresh guava in this one?
Yeah, so it's guava puree from Oregon Fruit Products.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's a good one too. Yeah, both of these beers are just awesome for summer. I mean, these are great.
Yeah, and this is all 100% Pilsner malt from Solstice Malt again. Love having a local maltster here.
Yeah. I haven't talked to James in the last couple months. How's he doing?
He's doing okay. Things have slowed down for him quite a bit.
Yeah.
But he's still staying busy, so. That's
good. Yeah, I think you might have been one of the first breweries that was really using his malt, and now it seems like a lot of them are jumping on board.
Yeah, he opened not too long before we did, so yeah, he started going in 2018, and I was getting Maris Otter coming from the UK, which is my favorite base malt, and I tasted a batch next to his version of his Pale malt, just floor malted like a Maris Otter, and it's incredible, and it's fresh.
Wow.
It's have all the way over here, and it's just made down the street and brings it up for me. So it's great.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm glad things are working out for him. He's a great guy. So this, when you brewed this the first time, this Guava Goddess, so you used the 2019 Pink Boots Hop Blend. Did you use the same one for this version, or did you use the newer blend?
I used the new blend for this one.
Okay.
That beer was such a hit last year that I ordered a couple more cases of that blend. Oh. And so we brewed it I think I brewed it a couple more times last summer. And this version that I just brewed recently, that's in the tank right now, I had some leftover hops from the previous Pink Boots blend. So this has both years of Pink Boots blend and the next one coming out. So since I ordered so many of them and then the new ones came out before I finished those up, I'm like, let's try both, see how it turns out. Tasting great. So
cool. Yeah, this is a great beer. I like it quite a bit. Nice work. All right. Well, before I let you go, though, I just want to ask what's next for you guys. What are you thinking as far as next steps? Anything you have planned, or just anything you'd like to add that people should know about Hopkins right now?
We're just kind of playing it by ear, just kind of watching the world, what's happening. The weather's so beautiful. Yesterday we pressure washed our patio and our furniture, and it's ready, but I just, I don't know what we want to do now. We want to just do some extra cleaning around here, some detail stuff, and but we're ramping up for opening. We just don't know when. I'm actually hiring a few more people in a couple days. I was actually going to hire them right before this thing went down, and then that happened. And so, but we're back on for orientation this week, and I'm just kind of watching the local businesses and going around to different places, seeing how they're doing things, and if we can make it work here. So I'm shooting for hopefully June to open. But again, we'll play it by ear, see what's happening in the world.
You just never know what's going to happen. It's uncharted waters for a lot of people. So, yeah. Well, thanks, Chad. I wanted to check in with you and taste a couple beers with you. So thanks for taking some time to join Utah Beer News on the virtual tasting, and just wish the best of luck to you. If there's anybody else who would like to participate in one of these informal little tastings, feel free to get in touch with me. And be sure and check out Hopkins Brewing. They're still open for to-go and food and beer during the week and on weekends. So check them out in Sugar House. So thanks again, Chad.
Cool. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Cheers.
I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Good.